on this trade, we welcome in Jastremski and Jon Alba for Table Talk. JJ, let's just get right into it. Your reaction to all this?
Very surprised, Nikki, to be perfectly honest, because, you know, this is the sort of trade you expect to hear about in mid-February. This is the sort of trade you expect to hear about in the offseason. Obviously, the Knicks have been linked to Anunoby for quite a while. When he goes to CAA and the Knicks have this pipeline from the Leon Rose's son representing the entire team, Randall Brunson, the list goes on and on. You can kind of connect the dots. But look, RJ Barrett looked to be an emerging player. Emmanuel Quickley's having a terrific year. So my initial reaction was surprise. But I also understand, John, this roster as currently constructed was not going to win at the highest of levels. And that's why you have to be thinking down the road, not just about this year, but how you get to that point.
And that's exactly it. Because what have we said all season long? This is the same Knicks team as last year. They weren't all that different. A couple changes, Dante DiVincenzo, sure. I think the loss against the Magic on Friday, a team that clearly has made the strides to jump into that top 4 tier in the Eastern Conference, I think it's a bit of a wake-up call. This is a deal that I love for both teams. OG can defend 1 through 5. I think he'll gel perfectly with Tom Thibodeau. He's that number 3 player on the Knicks now. No longer does Emmanuel Quickley have to worry about playing time. He's going to be able to jettison right to the front of that Raptors lineup. I think it works out all sides.
OG has been pretty good this season through 27 games, averaging 15.1 points, 3.9 rebounds per game. So looks pretty good there. Well, Knicks fans have been patiently waiting for the front office to pull the trigger on a big trade. This obviously is a big trade, but John, are you confident now they make the next move, which is something bigger, hopefully?
Yeah, we talked a lot about that just last week, too, about what would be the big move that the Knicks could make in the future. And the consensus that we kept coming up with was Karl Anthony Towns. Well, we know a player like him, should he become available in the offseason, it was going to take a lot of draft capital, and it was probably going to take someone like Emmanuel Quickley thrown in that, maybe with an RJ Barrett. By getting rid of those guys, you're going to be a lot more reliant on the draft picks. It does certainly affect them in some capacity, but I do think with Quinn Grimes there, he's still an attractive piece, and the fact, JJ, that you maintain those draft picks is enormous for allowing you to make big trades down the line.
No doubt about it. Those draft picks, that's how you're going to go and get the big fish. But I think for Knicks fans who are maybe thinking that it's going to happen within the next few weeks.
No.
Pump the brakes.
Cool your jets on that. This, to me, is a lateral move for this year. But Anunoby, to your point, he's a guy that can defend a variety of different positions. The Knicks probably were not re-signing Emmanuel Quickley. And I know he was a popular player. I loved him. I thought he had a legitimate shot last year to be the 6th man of the year. Didn't end up getting the award, but with Jalen Brunson being in the fold, Emmanuel Quickley is a $100 million player. Didn't make a whole lot of sense for the New York Knicks. I just think if you're waiting on that big trade, you're going to have to be patient because it's not there quite yet.
You know, we've all been patient with the Knicks, so this is a step in the right direction. There's a lot of mixed emotions surrounding this entire trade and RJ Barrett with his time in New York. JJ, how will you remember him as a Knick?
I'm going to remember him as a gamer, and I know that a lot of Knicks fans are going to say, well, you expected the number 3 pick in the draft to be, you know, transformational. RJ Barrett was not that, but he's a guy who got better. He's a guy who worked hard. He played well for the Knicks last year in their postseason run. So I'm always going to be appreciative of what RJ Barrett brought to the Knicks, but he never really achieved that level of stardom that maybe you thought he would coming out of Denver.
And he got cold in December, too. He had a really nice start to the season, but he went really cold. This is the kind of trade, a change in scenery, especially going back up to Canada for RJ Barrett, probably will do him very well. He'll get a chance to stand out a little bit more. I really think OG fits so much better with this Knicks lineup, specifically with Jalen Brunson more so than RJ Barrett did. I think it will work out for everyone.